All right, we call the meeting of February 18th of the Grafton Cable Television Committee to order. And first item on the agenda is the meeting minutes, and we put off last time, we put off the minutes for December 19th. So we'll have a discussion. We can do them both together or separately. If anyone has any comments, is there any concerns about the minutes? Does anyone want to make a motion?
Move we accept the minutes as written.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There we go. And now we go to the treasurer.
Okay, so we have three accounts we're gonna talk about tonight. I'm not gonna pass these around yet. First account is our 166 account from the general fund, which we got $2,833. We haven't spent any money out of that yet, and we have to spend that money down before the end of the fiscal year. So we're gonna work on that.
How much again?
$2,833. That's what the town funds us for the year. It's part of the agreement, if I'm not mistaken.
Thing is, it's for the cable committee, and it's not restricted in the way that the funds, the 5% money, the main money, is just general fund money.
That's right.
So it doesn't have to be for strictly cable purposes. It can be what the committee needs to do.
Right, and we are going to bring that down eventually.
Yep.
Okay. Now, our bond fund, okay, that we borrowed $600,000. Our bond fund still has $290,604.34. This is all it's going to be a journal entry, because this money and it's going to come out and go into our 29 account, because we paid money out of this account that should have been paid through the bond account. The bond account should be zero, because this building is paid for 100% now. We spent $1.1 million. $600,000 should have come out of the bond fund, because that's the bond that we got.
Yeah.
Right? But we haven't reconciled both accounts yet.
So it's basically an accounting,
It is. So today, our 29 account on record has $484,666.23. We're going to add the $297,604.37, which is gonna give us a grand total in our 29 account of $782,264.60. That's what we're working with right now. So our bond account is going to be zero.
Yeah. But has the money, is that after the money from the 29 account, it was gonna be part of the project was
Yes.
taken out?
Absolutely. We could,
Don't get too much money.
well, we don't, because.
Well, no, there's never too much money.
No. If we put a stop on this account before the fiscal year started, we would have had our $300 and something thousand left over to it. But every quarter, we keep on getting more money putting in it.
Yeah.
So that's why this keeps on going up.
Well, we keep spending every month though, too, so.
We actually haven't been spending a lot of money.
Well,
All right, so do you have that, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair?
yep.
Okay, so hopefully next month, Andy and I are gonna sit down with the accountant, we're gonna reconcile all the accounts, and I'll come back to you with a hard copy, but that
Okay.
is the real number, okay?
I'm wondering, are we gonna be aware, there'd be something to be said for paying off more of the bond?
I haven't got into that question.
Well, maybe while you're talking to people, you could ask if it's.
If it's feasible, we have a 5-year note right now.
But borrowed money costs money.
It does.
I understand that. My father was a banker, I understand that.
Yep, okay, let me keep on going. So this is our quarterly payment? all right?
From
From Verizon. We have two of them. One for $67,666.82. That's payment number one. Then we have another payment of $6,706.68. It's just the way it is. We thought that that was a mistake months ago,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not. That's just the way they're paying certain things off. This must be the capital and this must be the 5%.
Yep.
Okay?
I was trying to figure out the backup information she sent today. And I'd seen some of it before. They, as you go down through it, they have PEG billed about halfway down.
Yep.
But then later on, at the, pretty much at the bottom, they have what we actually got, which is different than PEG billed. And I don't understand PEG billed. I couldn't make it match with anything.
I know. I see it too. I don't know.
How much is it?
Well,
Well, it's
it's a little more than the
69,000.
67.
It's 69,000.
69.
So I don't understand why the numbers don't match completely, and we've asked 1,000 times and you get 1,000
Well, I don't know
different
whether we've
answers.
asked that one.
We have.
Because it comes down to the 69,000, and then there's the next line is bad debt, but that's 3,000 some. So they're not just subtracting bad debt from, who knows?
Okay, so that takes care of that. Is this up next? The assessment?
You've got, you've got
other
treasuries,
things.
so anything treasury related.
This is not it, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, I think I'm done with that report for you.
All right, can I ask a question?
Sure.
We've got three payments on here to Rockwell Roofing,
Yes.
all right? What did they do? Because we're still leaking.
Is that on this agenda?
Roof is on the agenda.
Well, yeah, to talk about that, I'm just curious about the money that was already paid to them.
There seems to be an ice dam brewing in here, and we're trying to rectify it.
So the three payments that we made, did they resolve anything with those visits?
In separate areas, they did.
Okay. The other question I have is how much we're paying Mr. Epstein. Is anyone looking at those bills?
I am.
Epstein.
He's our attorney.
Epstein in August.
August.
Oh, no, it's Mr. August that we're
Yeah.
paying to.
It's probably gonna be at the round figure of $20,000 to $25,000 for his fees. That's what I budgeted.
Well, that shouldn't be that much.
I asked him what he anticipated the fees to be. So, that's what I'm tracking right now.
All right. Just curious.
Have you asked, he must have been contracted by Tim, asked Tim about the costs?
Hourly rate.
Well, I know, but you know,
Yeah.
how many hours?
He likes to talk.
Well,
All right.
when I was doing it, I did most of the talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen this for sure. And I've seen, I don't, yeah, I guess, yeah, I saw this. Two different dates on these.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We don't need a vote on that or anything. So we'll revisit the accounting at the March meeting.
We always do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next meeting on March 16th. Any issues with that?
I
No.
think,
Nope.
it's one of those strange months where the planning board meets on its appropriate nights.
All right. Okay, old business, the building signage, what's new?
I haven't done anything with the building signage. Do we want to pursue building signage?
Well, I thought we were gonna do something about, the, out front, directing people to the police department. And
Well-
I thought we were gonna, put something in the front of this building to identify it.
What do you want, Bob?
I would like one on the building and one out front on the street.
Okay, so,
With light on the one that is on.
I don't
the
know if we're
building.
gonna get
Well,
light.
it's light on both.
I don't know if we're gonna get light because they cut a wire. Can you call Billy Cook? I'm really tied up, but can you call Billy Cook from Sunshine?
Okay.
And,
When we got the sign down there at the old place,
Mhm.
we looked around for someone to make signs. We eventually got that one for something like 1,000. Sunshine wanted 5,000.
we'll start with Billy.
All right.
And then we could try, another sign company that we used for One Grafton Common. I can get you that name too. But really, who's gonna design it now? Why don't you just invite them over and show them what we have and see if they can come up with something in that theme for the building and for out front?
So we're gonna get a musical sign.
A musical,
All right.
yeah,
Well,
Shouldn't it be a
it's television.
changeable digital?
no.
We could
You're worse
program it
than me.
remotely over the web to be
Yeah.
whatever we want, you know? You have to have a camera out there so you could see what it was doing.
Mr. DeToma, do you wanna tell us, anything about the green screen? Because we're all done, right?
Russell Whitaker came by last week and spent about 2.5 hours here with Bill and Jack and I. And he solved a number of concerns that the guys asked about, and number one on the list was he trained them in how to set up the 3-camera shoot for green screen. And it really was a simple fix. It was just a matter of the steps taken to do it. And each of the cameras needs to be assigned an image. And once that's done, it's pretty straightforward. He showed Jack and Bill how to take an image and scale it up or down as you might need, especially on the 2 end shots, because the scale is different from the one in the middle. So if I'm seated over there and the image might appear too big, or I might appear too big, instead of trying to worry about moving the camera and adjusting me, you can adjust the image. So once he brought them through those steps, it became pretty clear how we could use that new knowledge for programs like the Geezers or your TV Classics program, or even an interview program, because now whichever camera you take, there's a green screen image there. He also showed the guys how to mask out certain parts of the images on the screen, and how to mask out hot spots or dark spots. One of the things that he showed us was there was a shadow in the lower corner, kind of behind where Bob is seated, and he showed, using the technology that's built into the switcher, how to tone it down and adjust it so that you don't have to worry about moving this light, that light. It can be adjusted there on the console. So it was a great visit. It was very beneficial, and some of the things that Jack asked about, Russell jumped right on them because he said, "Ooh, that comes in the next generation." Yeah, well, we're not ready to buy the next
Oh,
generation
okay,
yet. So,
that's what I was gonna ask.
but, there's all kinds of bells and whistles that the future holds.
So we're happy where we are right now?
So we now have new capabilities in the switcher that he trained us
Let
on.
me, I'm in charge of the stupid questions, so if you were gonna do an interview with someone and they showed up with a green dress on, would that screw
Well, if
things
somebody
up?
showed up wearing that green, or the blue that's on the side of the water bottle,
Yeah,
there are certain temperatures or frequencies, I'm not quite sure what the right catchphrase is.
Temperature.
The
Wavelengths.
temperature, and
Wavelengths.
we can't, well, if someone came in wearing that color green dress or that color green suit, I would just pull the green screen aside and we would use either the black or use this
oh,
background.
all right.
We had one young boy who came in during Christmas season, who wore the Celtics green
Yeah.
jersey, and that disappeared completely. So we have a pretty good idea what will work and what won't work, so.
All right. Thank you.
Any talk about the virtual set thing?
There are a number of virtual sets built into the switcher that we can
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that a little bit when we get a little further down. And virtually anything that we download from the internet or any photographs we take can be loaded into the system and used as part of the green screen, so.
Yeah, but virtual set is a different thing from
Virtual set as in like a news set or a,
computer. The kind of thing where it looks like they're sitting at a table and it looks like they have a background and it is integrated, it isn't just a flat green screen. It's a computer model of
yeah.
the situation.
So when we did the needs assessment, we talked about furniture for the future. Some of those things would be furniture that we would wrap in green screen. Russell said it would be as simple as being seated at this table and draping it in cloth like that.
Oh.
So that it would appear as if we were seated behind the bar or seated behind a news desk.
It would give depth.
It would give more depth.
So if we're filming this meeting, if we had the green screen out, this tablecloth would be a problem.
No, this green is not the same temperature.
It's not the same green?
Nope.
Well,
I have trouble with greens and blues.
Yeah, this green is not the same temperature, so.
pretty close though, you have to be pretty fine.
Right, but Bill brought in the stool, the pub stools that are in the break room.
Yeah,
We brought them in here one night and they disappeared because they were that cool blue color, so turquoise, so.
all right, thank you. All right, the needs assessment,
Oh, that's me.
Mr. Berger.
That's me. Okay. So, it's not complete. I got most of it today, but what I'm missing is the report from Stuart. I had a conversation with Joe Patton, he's his right-hand man. And this here, and we'll pass this around, this is the main studio. You'll get it in a minute. This is all the equipment in the main studio. We inventoried it. We didn't number it, but we inventoried it. This studio has basically $290,000 worth of equipment. I can't see the number, but that's what it says over there. Then we go into conference room A and F, and this is all the equipment we have in those two studios in Town Hall. And that has $192,000.
Do we ever need to barcode this stuff?
Wouldn't be a bad idea, but, you know, some of this stuff is fixed in place.
Yeah,
I think there was a time when there was a round, somewhere, years ago, there was a round of everything was supposed to get marked.
We had that conversation about 3 meetings ago.
yeah.
Might not be a bad idea for things that could walk, like the microphone.
Yeah, no, but this was, the state said you had to do this.
Well, they can come in and help, but, you know, if anything could get up and walk like the microphones.
Yeah.
You know, somebody could steal them or they could break and then we have it. Not a bad idea to do that. But the stuff that's in the rack, in the server rack, I don't think we have to barcode
Right.
that, okay? So we have basically, $468,000 worth of equipment in the 3 studios.
Is that the original list prices or what they'd be worth now or
That's what they're worth
replacement
now.
cost?
No, that's what they're worth now. So
What
what's,
they're worth now, in other words, if we wanted to sell them.
yeah. Yeah, or if we have to replace them. If something breaks and we have to replace it. So for the $4,000, Stuart was supposed to generate a list of inventory. He did. He actually went and took pictures of all of our equipment in this studio. He didn't go to A and B, but I like the idea, so I think I'm gonna take my camera and I'm gonna do the same thing with Studio A and F upstairs, just so we can have this kind of documentation. I called his office today, I left him a voicemail, but I spoke to Joe Patton. What we're missing is a report explaining our short-term and long-term goals on what it's gonna cost in 3 years and 8 years to keep this equipment up and running. So he's basically done everything we wanted except write that report.
That's to keep this equipment up, but I thought this was a needs assessment.
This is only one part of our needs assessment. Bob and I have been working on our wish list of what we want. You know, we want the studio with the lunchbox, 3-camera shoot. We want a van out, we want to have a van. What else did we say we wanted just to have conversation?
Bill August, when he visited us in room F, one of the things he said was that the cable company did not want us to create a wish list out of thin air and fanciful prices. They didn't want us to just say, a van wrapped in graphics, $32,000. The cable company wanted to see a Ford van, 2020, with the price attached.
And a quote, a
And
real quote.
He wanted to see actual quotes. So this project that Stuart's been working on is the first step to that. So we can say, this widget costs $50, that widget costs $100, so that they can't come back and question where did these prices come from. They were provided to us by the consultant who did the work.
But we also have a wish list of things that we're pricing,
We do have a wish list.
of like the studio,
We
real
do have a wish
studio,
list.
real studio furniture.
We do have a wish list, but Russell will give us actual prices
Thank you.
and product code so that we can present that to the
This is only one part of the document that I'm working on. The other part is, this is what we physically have. The other part Bob and I have been working on for a couple of months now is things that we want to have.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, there might be others that have ideas about that too.
Or give it, we talked about it here, but give me your thoughts of what
Yeah.
you want. Put it down on paper, get it over to me.
did you have anything that jumped out at you?
I've thought of, and I've mentioned them before, and I don't have, I wasn't planning on trying to pull them up now. Some of it you're talking about, but what do you, is this just a van, just a vehicle when you're talking about a van? When it used to be when you talked about a van, you talked about a vehicle all fitted out with switcher and, all of the equipment to actually be a mobile.
That's on you, Bob.
This is an empty van. It's just the shell, just the van.
So we would then, the next step would be to equip it so that we could basically do what we did with the charter?
We haven't even dreamed about putting a remote broadcast van on that list.
Okay,
Neither one of us is gonna know what that's gonna cost. It would have to go back to Russell's expertise to give
Yeah.
us that information. The original idea came from Holliston Cable Access. They have a van. It's just a van. There's no seats. It's simply to transport equipment back and forth if they go to their common.
right,
And it's wrapped in graphics. And it sits in the parking lot
It's their sign.
7 days a week. It's part of their signage. So people drive by, when I go by to visit my mother, there's the van in the parking lot, Holliston Cable Access, and it's essentially a sign.
yeah,
When they transport equipment from the studio, again, to their common or to their
sure.
parade or whatever they're doing, the van goes. It's just for transport. So it's entry level, I guess, is probably
Yeah.
the best way to put it.
Well, we're still talking about like phases here.
Right. If
Yeah.
we wanted to shop for a van with broadcast capabilities, some of the ones that Chris and I looked at the past, some of the shows, we have a couple years down the road to kind of
Yeah.
build the budget up before we consider some of those.
All right, let me ask you, should I keep needs assessment on the?
Yeah, keep it on. Until the negotiation stops, keep it on.
Yeah,
Don't forget the operating costs of a van and cover that cost. Because you've got insurance, and
Yeah.
repairs, and fuel, and all of that
Upkeep.
on an ongoing basis. That, and you're gonna be satisfied parking it out here, in terms of security.
Oh, next to
If
the
it
police
doesn't
station.
have,
the police
if it doesn't have
Next to the police
equipment
station?
inside, what's
Yeah.
that?
Next to the police station? Where they fill up gas all the time?
Well, but they're
not
not going,
anymore, yeah.
that's not, that's going away.
Yeah, that is going away.
There's a cruiser parked in this parking lot almost 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And they're not drinking coffee and eating donuts, that's not happening.
Why are they parking in this lot?
Because that's where they patrol from.
Yeah, they patrol from here.
They got a big lot next door.
Yeah, they're watching the street up and down.
Well, it's not as if they're taking up spaces for us, though. I don't mind seeing a cruiser out there.
Well, but he could be on the other side of the island.
They could, I think they are all right here.
Yeah. If we had a problem, you know, if all of a sudden we were gonna start having groups in here or something like that, then I think we could revisit that. So the.
Oh, I know, consider seats, folding chairs so that you could have a modest audience in here.
What is the number of people allowed in this place?
I'll give you that later. I haven't put that packet together yet.
We've determined 49.
It's less than, it's not more than 49 in here.
But I think if we had seats for 49, that includes both the people out there and the people up here.
Yeah,
Includes whoever's working in the
That's
staff.
in
Yeah.
this room.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
yeah, well, it came up
Yeah,
just
yeah,
last
when are we
week.
doing the open house?
Yeah, well, it came up at Apple Yards too, as they're looking to expand their program in future years. Not Apple Tree, but
Do you want a price on some
Small
chairs?
Stones.
I'll give you a price on some chairs. Some nice folding chairs. I don't
I'm just
want-
thinking it's a good idea to be
Yeah, it's not a
thinking
bad
about
idea to
that.
have 20 chairs here,
Yeah,
you know, tucked in there
Oh, at least 20,
On a rack.
on a rack.
yeah.
well, I think they should be made in America.
I think they should too, not a
Not a
rack.
Not a
rack,
rack.
not a rack.
Okay, so that really kind of, the inventory really kind of ties in with that needs assessment.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
absolutely, it's a key part.
Oh, and how about getting the curtains? That's really,
I think that's part of this package here was getting full-length curtains.
well, even if you just put the long chains on
Right,
those,
yeah.
Well, but,
which we probably don't need a major budget for.
yeah, but he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, he doesn't like the idea of putting the chains, because over time it puts stress on the track, so he ultimately wants us to upgrade to.
The chains are worse than,
Yeah, he says the length of chain over time, in his opinion, will warp or twist the track.
Oh,
if you say so.
I'm just going,
It's a little hard
Every
to
time.
get the same attachment point either way.
I'm passing on information from our professional lighting consultant.
Yeah, well, how about our professional, actually, he's the one who sold us the original curtains. So he's our curtain expert.
Lighting and curtain.
Yeah.
very good. So moving along, is there any other old business anyone has?
I have some old business.
What is it?
Well, probably 2-3 years ago, we went in front of the selectmen and we said that we were gonna pay rent on this building. And we have, never paid rent on this building. I have been questioned a couple times on what are we doing. So I think we really have to come up to the plate and we have to give them some rent. Go ahead, I'm listening.
After we stopped paying charter for the other building.
We have.
Well, that's news
We've
to
asked,
me.
we've asked Bill.
No, asking Bill is not, we've stopped.
Well, have we made any expenditures?
On what?
Or has our cable bill been adjusted for rent?
I didn't see a charter form yet for this quarter, which
I
is
haven't
where
either.
it should show up.
I haven't either.
The last time we had a conversation with John Marr, he was asked point blank if we'd stopped paying, and he didn't know the answer. He was gonna find out.
Yeah. Well,
But I would agree, I think, I would agree with both of you, and I'm only one person, but I think that, yeah, we have a responsibility to the town to pay rent, but at the same time, I think that as long as we're paying charter, that has to come to an end. Because otherwise, I mean, it's inequitable to be paying double rent.
We have to,
it was
well,
the
we're
town's,
not, we're not paying it.
Town's
They're-
it was
responsibility.
the town's responsibility to fix that down.
Yeah,
I know,
And so,
that's your other hat.
right.
but But that's the argument, you know.
I lost what I was gonna say.
Well, we were talking about the charter bill, and then we were talking about stepping up and paying
I'm gonna
the
call,
rent.
I'm gonna call John Marr. He's Charter's attorney. And well, I don't think I am. Well, I'll try, but either that or Bill's gonna have to, because we've asked them several times. I think we've stopped paying it, but I can't answer that. And
All right.
we're not paying it, it's what they're deducting from,
Right.
Yeah,
from that
Which is
expense.
essentially
Same thing.
paying it, yeah.
Right.
And that's why it's very important that the Q4 payment schedule arrive.
Okay, so then, I was gonna put a motion on the floor, but I don't think I can do that right now. But let's just discuss it a little further. Once we square this situation away on we are gonna pay rent, are we gonna do it, once a year? Because it's $15,000 for the year. That's,
That's a different number.
it's $12.50 a month. That's the number that we said.
No, it's a different number than 2 or 3 years ago when we talked
No,
about
no, no, that's always been the number. It's okay, but it has been the number, $12.50. So that's $15,000 a month. Are we
it.
gonna?
A year.
A year, sorry. Are we going to pay that like January
That,
1st?
does it matter?
I don't know, I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Monthly?
Well, let me ask you, the money that we have in our account to pay these bills,
Yep.
does that draw our interest?
No.
Then
Not
it
for
doesn't
us.
matter.
Not for us.
Well, for the town?
It's the
It
same,
should.
it's the same, but it's kind of the same, cause it's just transferring from one account
Yeah.
to the
No, no.
other, and it's gotta be in the same bank.
Yeah.
You know, just looking at it as one pot, we're just taking it from here and putting it over there.
The question is whether the town is drawing any interest on its cash that it's got in the bank.
Who knows?
If it is, it isn't very much. But we don't, none of the funds are ever eligible for interest. You know, I've been at, after 30 years, this is not the first time the subject has come up.
Yeah.
Okay,
But the money comes by the month, the money goes out by the month. You don't want to be paying ahead. I mean, why not? It's just a piece of paper up there.
I'm just bringing it up as conversation. Me,
Yeah.
on accounting, as the treasurer, I'd say every July 1st, just take the 15 and we're done. Then we don't have to worry about it again.
That seems to be the easiest, and
That-
I would agree, yeah.
That's the
And it's-
easiest.
Yeah, then you don't have to be, oh, did they pay it?
Or do
Did
we have
they
to
make
do a
the
journal
transfer this
transfer,
month? Yeah.
you know? So,
But yeah, you've got other money that's moving around. Why not just,
well, as the treasurer right now,
yeah, as the committee member right now,
I know, well, we all have a
What
vote.
are you saying, why don't we just?
Let's
why
pay
don't we pay
monthly.
our rent every month like everybody else does?
Well, the only thing that pops in my head is one other thing to check. We can check, if there's no financial consequences, then we only have to check once if we pay it yearly. But then if we have to do it every month, we have to make sure it was out of the right account, and did they,
We don't, money's going out of our accounts every month.
right?
A lot of money's going out of our accounts every month, and we're not checking any of that, are we?
Oh, I would think we are.
You have it in the reports and there's basically nothing coming out. You've got, it's all the same
There's
bills.
some people getting salaries.
Yeah, we never signed off on that.
That,
No. This committee
Right.
has never signed off on that.
Because they're being paid by the town,
They're being paid by the town.
yeah.
right, no.
The only
They're being
thing-
paid out of our funds
Through the town.
to the town. The money, the town cuts a check and moves the money from here to there.
Well, do we see it as a problem? Has it been a problem?
No. Because every time there's something big,
Yeah.
since I've been the treasurer, I bring it here. I'm only paying the bills that are the same
Yeah.
revolving bills
Yeah.
over and over. that
Well,
I-
let's revisit this, next month.
Absolutely.
And in the interim, let's see if there's any way we can find out specifically if we are, if that quarterly report comes in.
And do you want me
Let's
to
see.
contact the attorney and have it done through the attorney?
Have which done?
Bill, to
No,
call
have
John,
which done?
to call John and say,
Are we paying?
when did we stop paying for that?
Yeah, and
Facility
and
after
where's our
96.
Where's our Q4 reimbursement?
Do you want me to call Bill?
Do you mind?
I don't mind, and ask him that.
Yeah,
Okay.
find out where the
you
fourth
put that
quarter
down?
bill is, and whether or not it reflects the fact that we're long gone out of South Grafton.
And Chris hasn't done anything for us
Right,
in,
We brought that up too, and we should not be charged for Chris.
right. But again, without the quarterly bill, we don't know.
Even with the quarterly bill, it's so vague.
It's hidden.
that
well,
I couldn't really.
let me see it, we'll find out, because I know what they deduct.
All right, well,
They're
we-
supposed to give us a report
I know.
according to the license,
And we've asked him for it.
yeah, and Bill
Well, we
can
obviously
push 'em
can't
for that,
settle
too.
anything tonight because we're lacking information.
But I wanted to bring the conversation.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's good. It'll be an agenda item next time.
Oh, you know what?
Is-
Before I forget, can I have those two documents? I have to keep everything together.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is there any other old business? Okay, Mr. DeToma, we're looking at microphone upgrades, I understand?
So I'll talk about the two things at the same time.
Is that like talking out of both sides of your mouth?
Absolutely, I'm
All right,
highly skilled. Some of them wireless microphones are starting to show their age and are starting to fail. The weakest link on the wireless microphones is the end of the cord where the pin fits into the pack, or the end of the cord where the actual microphone pickup is. So we were looking at pricing out some new units
all right.
and just adding.
Can I
people into-
interject?
Yeah.
I don't think, you're in a position that you know what's here and what works and things like that. I don't think that you need to go into great depth about what's wrong. If you're saying that we need to replace them, I'm good.
Right.
You?
I just
Well,
wanted to make the committee aware that we're probably not gonna spend more than $1,000, but I don't remember what we spent the last time we bought microphones, so I would do the homework first and then come
Yeah.
back and report.
But if you're telling us that we need microphones, I don't think you have to prove it.
In the past, we've gotten repairs done on those wires. We send them off, $77 or something as a flat fee, and they come back, you know.
We're
Stop.
talking about a different generation though, right?
No, Bob's right, we
Same
have
thing.
sent them out for repair, I forgot about that.
Yeah. The other thing, though, is that there may be frequency we may not even be operating on legal frequencies. They keep stealing the wireless mic frequencies and giving them to somebody else, and then coming up with another set of frequencies for wireless mics. We've gotten zapped before on it that, you know, those frequencies are no
Yeah.
longer. Now when you buy mics, there's more flexibility built into them because everybody has that problem. But in any case, that is a thing.
So for the next meeting, I'll research.
Yeah,
the
can you come
repair
back with
costs
that?
and-
Yeah.
and
Now,
then
the
other-
camera?
The other issue was, we have a JVC camera that for some reason only will work on battery power, and it will not take inputs, it will not take AC power. We discovered this when Santa came to town. I was on top of the platform, on top of the elevated platform, and got my AC power from the box, which was right next to me, and Jen Anderson and all the people that were up there working were, you know, always great help, and plugged the camera in, turned the camera on, nothing happened. So, you know, climb down off the platform, go and check, make sure the plug hadn't been tripped or somebody had pulled it out. And the plug was installed in the right place, and it just wasn't working. When we took the plug out and put the battery pack on, camera comes to life. Replace the cord, go back to AC, camera doesn't want to work. So that might also be a repair issue. I'll find out what that might work out to. A lot of times when I contact these vendors and ask about repair, they kind of just say, you know, you're better off just buying a new
Yeah,
unit.
I would think so too. Again, with the generational life
Yeah.
of these things here is
Yeah.
so short.
So we have two JVCs and we have two Sonys, I think. So I think the Sonys were the newer of the two. So for the next meeting, I'll find out about repair costs versus replacement, but again, I just wanted to alert the committee that some of the equipment was, just starting to act up, and just to make you aware of what's going on.
Are any of the vendors that you contact, and again, this is just naivete, will they give you any kind of trade-in, credit or anything?
I have never heard the word trade-in ever used, so I don't know.
Like, we need to
No.
buy another JVC camera, we'll give you the other one, can you knock something off the price?
I can ask. Like I said, I've never heard the phrase used, so I don't know.
But I would think if we get a replacement camera, what happens to the one that we had that works on battery power? Do we have a yard sale?
Well, if it works on battery power, we'll still use it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that in that instance where Santa Claus was coming to town,
Yeah.
it's always nice to have AC power and not have to worry about the battery running out.
Or
So-
have multiple batteries.
Well, we do, we have multiple
Yeah,
batteries,
but
but you
doesn't-
don't wanna
doesn't-
switch batteries in the middle of.
isn't that an indication, if it's not running on AC, it's an indication that something's wrong, and
we know.
this could be just the tip of the iceberg?
Right. So, I'll check, for both items, I'll check out repair costs versus replacement and then, report back.
All right, but as far as having to rationalize, I mean, I'm good, if you're coming in and saying, look, this camera is not working for us and we need something else. I don't think, I mean, we have confidence in you, so, I don't think, all right. Now, from what I'm hearing, and I got this from young Jack, is that we have a bigger problem in the roof than we had anticipated.
Yeah, I put an insurance claim in, and I'm waiting for the insurance adjuster to give us a call. It appears that we have some sort of ice dam up there. Doesn't leak when it rains, it leaks when it gets icy and snowy, so something is dragging that in. It's on that wall.
Yeah,
This has a old tar and gravel roof, and then it has insulation, then it has the rubber roof. So when you have an ice dam and water is getting into the substrate, what you're seeing is the tar. That wall, the control room wall is gonna come out. We have to get that ice dam fixed. We have to take that wall out and put it back together. That's where we are.
can I just ask you, and again, it's my naivete, why wasn't this identified during the build-out?
Well, we have an ice dam. We don't have a shingled roof. We just have a problem with ice building up and finding its way under. We asked Dan, that's our architect, how's the roof? Do we have to put in a new roof? And he said the roof was fine. So I'll take it from there. That's all, that's the only information I have for you right now.
What are your thoughts? What do you,
We have to figure out why we're getting that ice dam built up. We have to take that wall down. So my thoughts are right now is we should take maybe 3 feet of that wall completely down, right down to the stud, take the studs right out, put some plastic up, divert the water in a rain gutter into a bucket until we figure out how we're gonna stop this ice dam. And then we can rip this wall out, because I'm afraid of all that water in there, it's all gonna, it's all soaking wet,
yeah,
and we're gonna turn into mold eventually.
but that's,
So I hope that we can just take one side of the wall out and not both sides, to keep that side in there clean. Bag all these lights, keep the dust down as low as possible, try to do as least damage as we have to.
I mean, that's our jackpot for equipment.
Oh, I know. No, our jackpot's in the hallway. The server's in the hallway.
Oh, well, that's a lot of money, though.
Oh, big time, big time. But we're not gonna ruin anything when we do this.
Yeah,
No.
I'm just saying,
What I wanna do is
it's not anything that we can just say, well, let's see what happens.
No. But this is gonna happen like ASAP. Meaning if I can get
Yeah.
the insurance adjuster in here tomorrow and he says, yep, I agree, you can start, then we're starting.
Yeah,
And I wanna see if we can do everything from this side. Even if we have to take this all down and wash that other side with a microbial, whatever they call that, to make sure mold doesn't build on the back side of that insulation, or do I have to remove it? I don't wanna remove it. I'd rather destroy this side of the room than that side. Because it'd be easy to control.
No,
this side.
obviously, you're gonna coordinate with Bob,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
This is gonna be my project.
okay. And it certainly has precedent over the signs, but if you can do both.
Oh, yeah, the signs,
Now, we know you got a regular job too, so.
yeah, no, the signs, Bob's gonna make a phone call. We'll
Yeah.
get the guys out here. I'll meet Sunshine Sign and Bob, and we'll show them what we have and see what they can come up with some ideas. And then we'll take it from there. But
Is there
now,
anything you need from us?
no, I just need Bob to work with me on this.
He's pretty agreeable.
I don't know.
Ah,
I called him for
I think
supper,
so.
and he wouldn't go.
Ah,
I think it was his turn to buy.
all right. Moving along. I was just curious, I stuck in anticipated programming. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to show off what's going on and things like that.
Yep. We continue to do approximately 2 bus stop weather reports per week, based on Julia's schedule. We haven't done anything this week because school is off and so is she. I'm gonna reach out to her and see if she'd like to come in maybe Friday afternoon to do Monday's return to school forecast. It gets a lot of attention when we post it to the social media pages in town. And then when she does a report, it plays anywhere from 6 to 6:30 the next day, based on space in the programming. Usually hits about 6:15 on average. So we will continue to do that. She continues to improve as she goes along, and she absolutely loves doing it.
Great.
And we get a lot of positive feedback when, as I said, when it hits social media. People are seeing it, they're aware that it's happening, and they all think it's a great thing. We promoted the fact that she's a Grafton High School student, which
Sure.
makes us look good, makes her look good, the school's happy. In addition to weather, Dr. Cummings came by here last Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was Wednesday, and he brought a co-host and some guests, and they did maybe a half hour, 40-minute long program. He interviewed Dr. Mary Coakley from Millbury Street Elementary School on her recent award as Assistant Principal of the Year. And then they had a senior who they talked to about her musical career or aspirations, and she performed a song. Dr. Cummings and this young woman whose name was Sydney co-hosted the program and asked the questions, and they performed in front of the green screen with a virtual set behind them. And once school starts up and I'm told what the title of the program is, we'll get it into rotation.
Yeah.
So it went really, really well. They were able to come right in, sit right down. We didn't have to worry about set pieces, and they were in and out, like I said, in under an hour. And they were thrilled with how quickly and easily we were able to manage the production. And the student, Sydney, commented about how smoothly it worked in the quote-unquote real world versus the school. So another feather in our cap, so to speak, because hopefully she's going to go back and tell people that, listen, if you're going to do a production, let's all go over there and do it. So we'll see how this blossoms in the future.
Do you know?
But,
Okay.
But it was fun to do, and it looked good while they were doing it. So
I had a thought as far as programming, and going back to when I was overseas, there were 3 English-speaking high schools, and we set up a what we called it, similar to Alan Ludden's College Bowl. We set up a scholarship bowl. It was just the name of it, and it was between teams from the 3 English-speaking high schools. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if we were to come up with, like, obviously in concert with the school department, maybe different teams identified at the different grade levels in the high school, competing for like the freshman the Grafton Bowl team. And then after each grade level had a competition for the sophomore Grafton Bowl team, a mini competition, and then have a playoff between the 4 grade levels in a Grafton Bowl, academic bowl, with, working with the school department. What do you think of that?
It's a great idea. My concerns are how it plays into the daily school schedule. I
This
mean,
would-
they
yeah.
pack a lot of stuff into a school day, so are they gonna be able to drop what they're doing and come here to do that kind of program, or would they have to do
Well, I would see this as as an after-hours venture.
Yeah. When Dr. Cummings comes back for the next episode of whatever this program's gonna be called, I can certainly approach the subject. with
I'd
him,
be
see what
glad
he
to
thinks.
talk to him about it, if you wanna plant the seed, and if he's got an interest. I was thinking how that could be programmed as more than, okay, well, you know, we're gonna have this one show about the playoff between these 4 teams, you know, but have a competition that leads to a team that represents that grade level.
Sure.
And then a competition between the grade levels to wind up with the Grafton Bowl, something like that. So it could actually be a series that could take place over the course of a year.
Right. So when I talk to him, I'll just let him know. He can talk to me, or he can talk to you, and he can make his choice.
I'm just there, I just thought that it might be an interesting idea.
Yeah, I could envision it happening by going to the school, especially if it's with younger children. Because again, I don't know what their schedule is like, and I
Yeah.
can just see it being a logistic nightmare to try and get them from point A to point B and back again.
See, I wasn't even thinking about the finities.
Mm.
Is that a word? Finities?
Details?
I think I invented that.
Anyway, and then lastly, Anita Patel's son Aaron expressed interest in also doing something like the weather. He wanted to do weather for the elementary school. The more he saw of the green screen performance that Julia did, the more it changed into something else. He might still be interested in doing elementary school weather, although it seems like it would be redundant after Julia does it.
Yeah.
He's interested in international soccer, so he thought that he might like to do soccer reports. He's into soccer, a lot of his schoolmates are into soccer, and he wants to do it in a professional manner. He wants to be wearing a suit and a tie, and he wants to do these soccer reports. So after we saw the upgrades and the capabilities that we can build off of from the switcher, we can throw all that stuff up on the green screen behind him. So if he has a favorite soccer star, we can throw that image right up behind him. So after talking to him and his mother, we said, you know what, it would be great if you started off with your local Grafton soccer scores, if you knew what they were.
Yeah.
And then, in other news, and then you
Yeah.
can go into your international soccer scores. So that's in the works, and hopefully we can pull that together and get those going too.
See, it's growing. It's growing. Just
We
since
did,
we've been here.
we did get some phone calls from people when Julia's videos went up. The first phone call, I think, went into Bob's office, and people wanted to know, you know, is that just for high school people? And the answer was no, of course not. Anybody can come and do it. Bring your idea, we'll help you bring it to
Develop it,
fruition.
sure.
We had another lady reach out the other day via email who was asking, she was following up on the Christmas open house about producers courses for people that were interested. So the more stuff we crank out, the more attention we draw. So it's all good. So.
All right.
And you're gonna have an art show.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. And then Mrs. Federico, who serves on one of the committees with Bob, she wants to do an art lesson. So she's on vacation. When she comes back, we're gonna talk about putting that together. Actually showing people how to paint,
Like a 4-part series.
step by step.
You may want to have her talk to my wife. 'Cause that's what she does now.
Your wife paints?
Well, no, she does like the art, well, she's got a master's in art. She's been, that's what she's taught for years and years, but now she's doing an after-school program for this Little Rembrandts program. And it does, like different projects like that. But she may be a resource for her.
Okay. Well, when we get together and talk about the program, that's something we can look at, so those are all the things that are going on here
Good.
behind the scenes.
Good for you.
I was trying to find something about virtual sets that I might have missed. Did you mention Ken Crater coming by?
No, I didn't. Ken Crater came by, and we had a conversation one day, about 45 minutes or so, and he was looking at the future of the Small Stones Art Festival in town. And the last two events, we've been there to shoot video and support in any way. I usually sit down and talk to Donna Blanchard and to Ken on camera about the event.
Yeah.
And try to promote it. Ken came in and we talked about the future of their involvement at Small Stones and with Apple Tree Arts, because Donna, I think, is retiring, and they wanted to kind of get their ducks in a row for what the future might hold. And he was looking at ways that Small Stones and Grafton TV could kind of come up with some kind of handshake agreement to, if they wanted to expand or if they needed to expand, how could that happen?
Sure.
And so I gave him some ideas of things that I had seen in the past, and I said that the only film or video or shorts program that I had ever heard of took place in Northampton, Massachusetts, and he said he would try to track that down. And Northampton Cable Access was involved in it, but I don't know to what level. So I said to him that if you asked people to present video for purposes of being judged and you're going to give an award, maybe in the future, when people see that you actually did add that to the list of presentations, maybe people would ask for assistance in training on how do I shoot video and how do I take part in this contest. So we agreed to meet again in the future to come up with ideas, and one of the ideas was that the Small Stones Committee might come and meet down here in the conference room. So it's an ongoing conversation.
Good deal.
It's in its infancy.
Anyone who's watching this show, thank you. But anyone who tunes in, we're here all the time now. And if you have something that you'd like to see on Grafton Community Television, or if you'd like to get more involved, we're here for you. That's what we want to do. This move into our new studio really kind of gives us an opportunity to do so much more than we've been doing up to now. So this is just the stepping off point. So let us know what you want. Thank you.
Yeah. Ken, I saw Ken's report back to Small Stones people, because I'm on the committee, and he was, this place was wonderful. Very impressed with it. Told about the idea maybe we could meet here instead of up at Apple Tree, because the Apple Tree thing is changing now. And we did talk about the idea of having an event in here, part of the festival in here, like a film.
Which goes back to how many people can you fit in the room legally.
Which was the point. And I'm probably 49 would be quite fine.
Yeah.
But also, he mentioned the editing room. You're talking about 6 computers, and I gotta let him know how many are actually editing machines, because he was talking about maybe doing something. He had ideas that maybe they could somehow, have some sort of program that would tie in with that too. We ought to be trying to do everything we can.
Absolutely. And it would be remiss if we didn't mention that your outreach through the town clerk's office to have early voting here in our available space. So that's a little feather in the cap.
Another point, we did 4 quick PSAs the other day with the Westboro Grafton dog officer on licensing and rabies. Then Candy joined her and did a follow-up piece on licenses in town, when you get them, how you get them, why you need them. We did a promotional piece for the early voting, and we did a piece on available seats that are coming up in the local election. So,
Yeah.
so we cranked out 4 quick PSAs that went up on social media, and they're also running on the
Yep,
channels.
but we're also talking about, we have a conference room that's available for other meetings and things like that, and you're making excellent use of it, given the early voting opportunity
Yeah.
that they can come here and do that.
Early voting is gonna take place in this room.
I thought so.
And part of the PSA was, in addition to us presenting the information, the video showed this wall and one of the cameras that had been, I shot some B-roll, placing the lens cap on, placing the drapes over the camera, so that people come in and know that in no way or shape or form is the camera gonna
Yeah.
come on. There's no robotic cameras in this room, so they don't
Yeah.
have to worry about the camera secretly recording anything. And then the cameras would be pointed toward the wall. And then that pretty much covers all the possibilities of somebody feeling they don't have total privacy.
One last thing, I just wanted to let you know, there's, our executive director at the Housing Authority, Amanda, she's come up with and I'm just so pleased with her, but she came up with a program in concert with Tufts Veterinary School, and they have some students with their supervision and everything like that, that comes out to Maxwell Drive and Forest Lane on a regular basis. And what they're doing is, for our folks that's in the housing with the Grafton Housing Authority that have like cats or pets, they're coming in here, they're doing shots, they're clipping nails, they're doing little exams and things like that at no cost to our tenants. And the students are doing that under the supervision of the doctors there at Tufts, and it's just a win-win-win situation. I didn't know whether or not, if you were looking for, maybe worth a phone call to find out when one is, if you wanted to go over and.
Or if they wanna come here and promote it, but, well, yeah, just
Yeah.
put them in touch with me and we'll set something up.
So I just wanted to let you know about that. All right, anything else, any other new business?
That's all for the anticipated programming.
Okay. Very good. There is no public here. I don't anticipate any public input. So do we have a meeting agenda? I mean, a motion.
Move we adjourn.
Motion made,
Second.
seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.